Get out of your way.
What's going on, Coach Schwartz?
Well, we have Mike Brown here from Auburn, California. Huge
What's going
fight
on,
fan,
Mike?
Going back years.
Mike is a semi-frequent caller to Steve Kim and Gabe Montoya's excellent boxing podcast, The Next Round, and I know him because he had called in to tell Steve and Gabe that he was going to attend the Gennady Golovkin-Dominic Wade fight. That was that 2015? Early 2016.
16, yes.
And you're an avid boxing fan, but you're somebody who used to go to live shows frequently. But the last show that you'd been to was the rematch between Muhammad Ali and Ken Norton, which took place at the same venue, the Forum, in 1973. So that was quite a hiatus you had between live boxing shows. But
and we had excellent
Triple G
seats.
got you back into it.
We had excellent seats for that fight. My wife of 44 years, who was then my fiance, and I sat in the top row at least at the end, not in the middle where it was higher, and watched the fight from there.
All right. Did you think Ali deserved the decision in that?
Well, I was a pretty big Ali guy.
Yeah.
At that point, and
I won't fault you for that.
I thought he won the decision, especially the way he fought in the 12th round.
Yeah, I thought he pulled it out. There are people who believe that Ken Norton really beat him all 3 times they fought, and I would agree with the rubber match. I think Norton deserved that decision, but the rematch, I think Ali legitimately outpointed him.
Well, I think his winning decisively in the 12th round took him over the top.
Yeah.
But I think he had some doubt as to how that outcome was going to be, the way he cuffed Bundini upside the head.
Yeah, well, you know what?
The fight.
Norton just had a style that was very difficult. In 1973, those 2 fights, that was a version of Norton that was trained by Eddie Futch. And Eddie Futch really gave Norton an excellent game plan to disrupt Ali's rhythm, to disrupt that jab and disrupt that rhythm. The version of Norton that Ali faced in 1976 in that rubber match was a version of Norton that was trained by Bill Slayton. And that was, Slayton's whole thing was utilizing the tremendous athlete that Norton was and having him be a more aggressive, physical fighter who dealt in volume. And so I think that Norton, if folks go back and watch that 3rd fight between Ali and Norton soundly outworked him over those 15 rounds.
You know, another Muhammad Ali anecdote that made an impression on me at the time and still does when I remember it. Before he fought Jerry Quarry the 2nd time in Las Vegas, he was training out here and he held a public workout at the Forum.
Which was common in those days.
It was about a week before the fight. And he had a roll of fat around his midsection. And I thought, he's fighting in a week. This looks really good for Jerry Quarry. And of course, that 2nd fight was one of his best performances in the 2nd phase of his career.
Interesting.
So you were referring to Bundini Brown, right?
Bundini, yes.
Right. And you remember, I remember him, I mean, he sort of like was whipping him in to win that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he was going crazy in the corner there, in a good way.
Yeah,
and,
but I think after the fight he was trying to hug him, and Muhammad Ali didn't want a hug at that point.
Right.
He just wanted to hold his head down and wait for the decision.
Yeah. So maybe he was thinking I may not have won this fight. Yeah, maybe he didn't feel inside in his heart of hearts that he deserved
Norton came on really strong from the middle rounds through the 11th.
It was a close fight, really close fight. So, did you go to the Olympic Auditorium much?
One time.
And did you ever watch the fights on TV from the Olympic?
Oh yeah, Thursday nights.
With Dick Enberg? You know, that's Dick Enberg's first assignment as a announcer were the fights at the Olympic Auditorium. And he did them with Mickey Davies. Do you remember him?
I met Mickey Davies at his office one time.
And he was great. I mean, great guy, knew what he was doing. So let me...
What was the number?
The
phone number,
Did someone ask that?
No, I'm asking that.
Okay, I'm asking you. What was if you watch the fights from the Olympic, do you remember the phone number?
No, I don't.
Well,
okay, why don't you ask someone? Okay, we know the phone number. So if anyone knows the phone number, why don't you? Okay.
They're like, what? Okay. What are you talking about?
No, everybody knows the phone number. No. Anyone who went to the fights during the 60s, 70s, 80s knows the phone number.
I don't know if we have any of those people watching this Periscope.
Oh, they're all dead?
Well, they're just not watching his Periscope.
Okay. So, Richmond 95171, and you'll be shocked how many people know that number.
So I will claim that as soon as he said that, it did sound very familiar.
Yeah.
No, because what happened is they had that up on this where the TV
like an
camera
ad,
would be.
right? Yeah.
And they used to talk about that all the time. But those fights, I mean, Dick Enberg, I mean, he was golden then. He had never done anything.
He went on to a pretty varied announcing career.
He was incredible.
Yeah, he's a sportscasting legend.
And then Keith Jackson, who also was, he just died also. Both of them died within a few weeks of each other.
Yeah.
So can you remember, Mike, like the best fight you ever saw live?
I think for personal interest, because I was a little closer to it, I really appreciated when Mike Corey beat Jimmy Dupree. That I think that was the fight that set him up as the #1 light heavyweight contender and brought him to 35-0 and helped get him that fight with Bob Foster that essentially changed the trajectory of his career.
Yeah.
And his life.
I
know he did. That was.
Yeah, but Jimmy Dupree was a top contender. And was
now,
probably more experienced, maybe, or a little more ring, maybe a little more battle tested than Mike Perry was.
Of an overall athlete, I think.
Yeah.
And Mike was a better boxer.
I see.
Mike was a good athlete, but Jimmy Dupree, I think, was probably a superior athlete.
Jimmy
But you know
Dupree.
what I remember specifically? I think it was that fight. Is Jimmy Dupree hit him low, and Mike never looked at the referee. But of course, you know what happened next.
Yeah, right.
He delivered his own low blow? Well, there you go.
Let's say his was a little more egregious, too.
Well, that's what you have to do, yeah.
So the way Mike got back into boxing is because of Triple G.
Yeah.
So how long was it between fights?
Let's see, 40-some-odd years, from 73 till 2016, when Triple G fought Dominic Wade, his first out at the Forum.
That's a long break from
my
live
wife and I
shows.
came down and went to the fight.
Did you have a good time?
Loved it.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember saying, we were both talking back and forth as we were driving back to the hotel, and I remember saying to her, that wasn't a competitive fight, but I don't care. It was exciting, and I enjoyed it, and I'm going to go again.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere.
And going there, everyone knew what was going to happen. It was a no-brainer. Okay, Dominic had no chance. It was going to be exactly what happened. It was still a sellout, and no one wanted to leave when it was over.
No, it was a party.
It was
hours before the first fight.
It was
people were partying in the parking lot.
So Triple G brought Mike back to boxing. So Mike went to New York to watch him fight
Danny Jacobs.
And let's see, did you see any other fights of his live?
Haven't seen another one live yet. I've been kicking myself that I didn't come down for Superfly.
Oh, yeah. Come down for Superfly 2.
I can't come down for
too bad.
Superfly 2.
Yeah.
I'm making too many trips down
Oh,
here.
yeah. Well,
this
Superfly
month.
was incredible.
Yeah.
So Tom Loeffler really knows how to put this together. So Superfly 2 is his first promotion on his own.
Yeah, 360 Promotions.
360 promotion. And so Tom Loeffler, there's a lot of good promoters out there. Like Thompson Boxing we're talking about. It's good. But I think the king of all of them is Bob Arum.
Yeah.
He really has a machine going.
He's still doing it.
And Golden Boy's doing a great job. And it's all the guys behind. Like with Golden Boy, they have Robert Diaz. Who's incredible.
He's the head matchmaker.
And it's the same thing with Thompson. They have this matchmaker, what's his name?
Somebody asked, what do you guys think of the talk of Daigo Higa moving up to Superfly soon? He is welcome because he is a major badass. One of those young Japanese champions. I think right now he's a flyweight champ. Just has 14 fights and all by knockout. And he's a punisher. He's real strong, goes to the body great. I think he's trained by a Japanese Hall of Famer. I can't think of the guy's name, but he had an afro. Japanese fighter with a fro. What's his name? His nickname was Fierce Eagle. I can't remember it right now, but he was a former junior flyweight champ. But Higa at 115 pounds, he's welcome. It's a great mix. I think the Superfly series can at least go like twice a year, if not 3 times a year. They could do 3 shows. Because the winners face each other, maybe the losers face each other and get a shot at the winners of the next show.
And they're not afraid of losing.
Yeah.
So it's not about protecting their record so
absolutely.
much. They just want the fights. And there's so many different mixes you can have in those.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this? The guy that Top Rank just signed, the kid from the Philippines.
Oh, and Cajas, Jerwin.
Yeah, so
he's excellent.
He's
How's it going?
He's good.
Yeah, Jerwin is on. Yeah, his name is Yoko Gushikin, Jimi Hendrix. Thank you, Yoko Gushikin, Fierce Eagle in the Hall of Fame. Where is Tom? Sweet Science wants to know. I think he's out of the country. Tom is out of the country.
Well,
he can't be with us every week.
Where's JP?
Yes, that's
hey,
the real question.
I knew JP when you didn't call me back yesterday. You weren't coming today.
Oh dear.
So we got a pattern going. But JP, it's
I
all
showed
good.
up and I was sick. So
it's all good, JP. We love you. It's all good. But everyone needs your pick of the week. So
true.
His JP's pick of the week last week was the Golden Globes for the director, who was a huge underdog.
Yeah.
And
Del Toro?
Yeah. And he won. He was a huge underdog.
Really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah. He made a lot of money for Tom Loeffler.
What are some of your hot takes or bold predictions for 2018? I don't know. Who is he addressing this to? I think he's talking to you, Coach.
To JP.
Yeah, there you go. JP, bold predictions.
Hey, JP knows more about all these obscure fights than anyone going.
He puts his money on them. Of course he's got to know.
But he does real well. Yeah. He knows exactly. He's up at 3 a.m. watching all these fights live.
He's sick, but it's beautiful. All right, who wants to hold this thing? Oh, any news on Rod Sulka? Okay, very funny, Sweet Science. Lightning Rod's doing just fine. He's going to fight the winner of Danny Garcia and Brandon Rios. That's what's up with Rod Sulka.
So here,
you want to hold it?
How's your eyesight, Mike?
Oh, it's decent.
Okay, because I can't read that in the sun. So
I can read it.
So Doug is going to jump rope.
Okay.
And we're going to ask him a few questions.
All right.
And I just wanted everyone, if you haven't
And
heard,
Mike, if I can't answer these questions, you give it a crack, because you know your stuff.
I don't think
we've been talking with Mike for a while as we were doing laps.
Yeah,
Mike knows his boxing and his history.
Mike knows his stuff. And here's the thing: if you guys watching this haven't listened to the 3 knockdown rule this week, Mario Lopez and Steve Kim had Dougie on for an hour. They had Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, and Eric Gomez for 30 minutes each. Dougie was on for an hour.
Those were all great interviews.
It was a great interview.
Yeah, they're good.
And if you listen to it, you'll hear the passion that Dougie has for bringing, Ring Magazine back to where it was. And he's going to do it for sure. It's a great challenge.
Step by step. It's going to take some time.
It's going to take a while.
So there was a question that is gone, but I believe it was, have you heard of a fighter named Armin Updeboot? And if I butchered the last name, please write in again.
No, you know what? There's so many fighters from Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and countries that were once part of the Soviet Union that are coming over here and making some noise. Did you guys watch Showbox?
It was great.
On Friday?
It was really good.
The opening bout?
Oh,
two undefeated prospects.
Was great. Oh my God!
And there was a guy from I think it was Uzbekistan.
Hey, what
the Southpaw?
What passion that guy had!
Wow. I mean, here's another guy. I can't even think of his name.
No, but it was a great fight.
I know.
It was good. But how'd you like Carisha Shields?
She's excellent, man.
She's really good. I mean, she's
too strong for anybody at that weight.
Were you watching her feint?
Yeah.
And the way
she's learning.
She's good. She's good, and
she's going to be really hard to beat at 168 or 160 pounds.
But I was impressed with the girl she beat. That girl's 40 years old.
Yeah.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you watch with women. I know most guys don't like women's boxing. I love women's boxing. And these guys, they're really smart.
Yeah.
They're all smart. They train well. They take it seriously.
Yeah.
And I thought that card was really good.
Yeah, this will be a good year for women's boxing.
So here's a couple questions, and Mike can answer these too. I'm going to give you the guy's name. They all have a birthday this week. I want you to tell me how old they are. Okay? Right. So Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins.
His birthday's on the 15th.
Okay. So I'm going to say Bernard Hopkins is 53.
Okay.
I was thinking 52, but I was more.
Yeah.
I defer to Dougie on this one for sure.
Okay, 53. So he was 52 when he got When
he was maybe a few weeks off from being 52.
When he faked that knockout.
Oh.
And we had an answer here from one of the people looking in. I missed the name. Sorry, but that 53, 1965 date of birth.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job.
But we know, Bernard, we know you faked it. You did a swan song. You dove out of the ring on purpose, because if you hadn't, you'd probably be dead from hitting your head on that side of that.
I think his head did. He's the alien, man.
And that was a great way to end your career. Okay, here's one. Ivan Calderon.
Ivan Calderon, former junior flyweight and strawweight champion.
How old would he be? His birthday's on was yesterday.
Ivan Calderon.
And Dougie, I'll buy you some time to think and just say that Jim from KO Tickets has joined.
All right, what's up, Jim? Yeah. Ivan Calderon. I'm gonna say Ivan is 40.
And we've got a guess by Sweet Science of 51.
Yvonne, that old? Nah, he's
40. 43.
43. He's older than I thought he was.
Judge is ruling. I think Dougie's a little closer.
A little bit closer, yeah.
Okay, how about Victor Darchinian? You're going to miss this one, I know it. I was shocked unless I made a mistake.
Vic is older than people think. I'm going to say Vic is 42.
Okay, we have a guess online as well at 46.
Yeah, exactly 42.
Okay, it wasn't a guess online. This fella knew.
I miss
Science
Darth Vader.
Hey, that was very good.
Oh, Sweet Science, you did great with the 46, and then you came back with 47. I'm sorry. Now it's just good luck.
Hey, that's good, Dougie.
Hey.
But I was shocked he's that old. I thought he was like 30.
That's crazy for folks that size.
Yeah.
He was a threat into his late 30s, which is really rare for flyweights. He was a natural flyweight who went up to featherweight.
Hey, but was that one of the biggest?
Underrated, really.
How about when he got knocked out by Nonito? Is that one of the biggest upsets of all time? The way he
upset
handled
of the year, knockout of the year.
Wow, and he handled him
Yeah.
the entire fight.
Yeah, he ran him right in there.
And Dougie and I were both at Nonito's pro debut.
Hey, Nonito Donaire, from flyweight to bantamweight, really special.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't count him out against Carl Froch, by the way.
Got a question I want to get in before it fades away here. It's fading. What middleweight matchup would you guys like to see in the next year? And then there was some more to that question, but it faded away, and I'm getting too old to remember a paragraph.
Well, outside of the rematch between Golovkin and Canelo, I'd like to see Golovkin and Canelo. I'd love to see Golovkin versus Jermall Charlo, or Canelo versus Jermall Charlo. And I'd love to see that fight hosted by a big venue in Texas. If it's Canelo, obviously you could do a ballpark. You know, you could do Minute Maid Park or something like that. That's in Houston, correct?
Minute Maid, I believe it's
Minute Maid ball. Okay, so and that's where the Charlo twins are from, Houston. So that's a no-brainer right there. And I'd love to see this Derevyanchenko guy. He's like 11 or 12-0, but he had like maybe 20 fights in the world. What do they call that?
World boxing.
The World Series of boxing. That's sort of
Boxing.
semi-pro, amateur series. And he's real strong. He's trained by the same guy who trains Saddam Ali and Danny Jacobs.
My favorite
Rozier,
trainer.
yeah.
And
Andre Rozier.
Andre Rozier.
And our friend-
What a trainer and what a cornerman, yeah.
He's the best.
And
So
our
I would
friend-
love to see Derevyanchenko against Golovkin or Canelo.
Our friend Sweet Science is from Houston.
Oh, really? All right. Yeah, Houston. All those towns and all those cities in Texas are potentially big boxing markets. All of them.
When is the third Superfly fight going to be announced? We might be getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Oh, it
here.
hasn't been announced. Well, Tom Lawfer teased that last week, so he's got to get that done. Yeah, and he said it was going to be a kind of a high-profile fight, and it would be at junior bantamweight, 115 pounds. But I can't think of who's available, who can come and fight on that card.
It was really a shame that Naya Inoue couldn't be on that.
Yeah.
That was a loss.
Yeah, I think I'm scheduled to hear from his promoter today about whether or not they are for sure moving up to bantamweight. If they are for sure moving up to bantamweight, then the Sor Rungvisai Estrada fight will be for the vacant Ring Magazine junior bantamweight title.
Billy Joe Saunders sure upped his stock.
Yes, he did.
Against David Lemieux, and so it's gotten a little bit interesting. My ideal scenario for middleweights this year would be the second Triple G Canelo fight, and if Triple G is the winner in particular,
right,
the going on to Saunders.
Then he becomes the undisputed champion if he can beat Saunders.
I really think
not an
Canelo,
easy task.
with his style against Saunders' style, is not a good matchup.
No, Saunders is all wrong for Canelo. Although Canelo would do better than David Lemieux.
And I'd also like to see Daniel Jacobs in the mix.
Yeah.
But I don't have as much interest in a rematch with Triple G.
No, but how about Saunders-Daniel Jacobs? That's a great fight.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
That's a good fight, but I don't want to see Triple G fight Saunders.
Yeah.
I don't think they can make enough money.
Yeah.
And it's a tough fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Saunders, if he comes in the way he did for that fight.
Yeah. How would he not be motivated for Triple G?
Yeah, he will be.
Of course.
He fought. I mean, that was like the perfect fight.
Yeah.
You know, the way I'm looking at that one is Saunders' skill is movement and controlling when he has confrontation. Triple G's big skill has always been forcing people to have confrontation and putting him in positions where they had no choice.
Yeah.
So I kind of lean, as long as Triple G is still Triple G, I kind of think he's got the answer to Saunders.
Yeah, because he's got that jab.
Okay, so I have a birthday.
And he's very good at cutting off the ring.
Yes.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best. So how old is Roy Jones this week?
Roy Jones this week, he's born in the same month as Bernard Hopkins, huh?
Tomorrow's his birthday.
Okay, so Roy Jones Jr. I'm gonna say Roy Jones is gonna be 50. 5-0.
What do you say, Mike?
Hitting the big 5-0.
I was thinking around 50, but for me it's more of a guess than any real
he's
knowledge.
Gonna be 49.
And
49,
we
so
had,
okay.
It's our friend Sweet Science again. He got it right.
Did he? 49.
Born in 1969.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he has one more fight, but I want to see him keep fighting. I mean, he's so sharp.
He's having fun.
I mean, he looks good, and he still can beat, guys who aren't very good.
Yeah.
I think and he can still make some money.
I don't think it's about the money for him. I just think
I think
it's
it is.
what he loves.
I think
he makes more money doing the HBO commentating than he does from those fights. Unless, maybe he's his own promoter, and maybe he's making some money with those shows.
You mean
I don't
like
know.
Shane did?
Wow. Maybe a little bit better than Shane. I don't know.
Okay, also this week, Tito.
Felix Trinidad. Tito.
How old is he?
I'm going to say Felix Trinidad is turning 45.
Sweet Science agrees.
All right, Sweet Science.
You're right.
Sweet Science has got a high percentage
we're
going here.
We're doing okay, Sweet Science.
Okay, here I give you one. Okay, Kennedy McKinney.
Kennedy McKinney.
Who was incredible. Who was his trainer?
Ken Adams.
Yep.
Kenny McKinney. Wow. Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
Can I squeeze in one question for the audience? Sweet Science, have you got Box Rec open in front of you, or are you there?
Come on, man. We don't box rec here, people.
Yeah,
Come on now.
good. Okay, so Kennedy McKinney.
Kennedy McKinney. I'm going to say Kennedy McKinney is turning 50.
Yeah. 52.
52! Wow! So Kennedy McKinney was like early 20s when he won that gold medal in '88. He was like 21 or so.
Okay, how about Ruben Olivares?
Ruben Olivares.
Birthday was yesterday.
Ruben. Boy, Ruben's got to be up there.
Wow.
Ruben won his first title in the 60s, wasn't it? Like late 60s?
Yeah, he was. He was fighting here quite a bit in the 60s.
Yeah. I mean, he's a fighter of the 70s, like early 70s, height of his popularity here.
78, according to Sweet Science.
78?
The smart money would probably agree with him.
Yeah, because he's got box rec in front of him.
By the way, Sweet Science says his answer to my question was, I know my boxing. Coming from a family of attorneys, I say you didn't answer the question I asked.
Yeah, there you go. You got these fans. I know my boxing, yeah.
Okay,
that means, I got box rec.
So how old's Ruben Olivares?
All right,
and what's his nickname?
Mr. Knockout and House.
Rockabye.
Oh, Rockabye. He had a lot of nicknames.
Yeah.
He had a lot.
Okay,
of
so-
yeah, that's probably the catchiest.
Okay, so
So,
how old is he?
Let's say that he. Let's say he was 20 when he won his first title. Now we're. I'm gonna say 77.
I think Sweet Science answered that.
Yeah. Did he say
see.
78?
Wait,
Yeah.
let me figure it out. Wait.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. He was born in 47.
Born in 47.
57, 67,
Yeah.
77, 87. Oh, shit.
Maybe 75.
Wait,
Hold on.
57?
He was born in when?
47.
470.
Oh.
Depending on
We
what time
made
of
him
year his
early.
birthday was.
So he's probably pretty young when he won that
Has
first
he
title.
had his birthday this month?
Yeah, yesterday.
71.
71.
Yeah.
Yeah, 71.
Okay. He's younger than we thought.
I screwed that. Okay, here's one. Henry Mosk.
Henry Mosk.
His birthday was last week.
I'm going to say Henry Mosk is 52.
What's Sweet Science say?
I'm waiting for him to show up here. Come on, Sweet Science.
Come on, look it up.
51.
58.
58? He's that old?
He was born in 60.
That dude.
Okay,
that
so
dude
now
was like
I'm-
in the
Yeah.
was the 84 Olympics or was he 88?
He
So he was a grown ass man. No
So
wonder these guys.
Sweet Science says I'm not looking it up, and given his last two answers, I think the preponderance of evidence supports his claim.
Okay. Sorry we doubted you, Sweet Science.
Okay, so
Sorry
I'm
we
going to give
doubted
you.
you, man.
Okay, I'm going to give you this one. Okay, so we did the birthdays, except one we missed one. George Foreman.
And I have an answer from Sweet Science, by the way. An answer and a birth year, so I suspect
He gave you the
knows what
birthday
he's
too?
talking about.
Yeah.
Not the birthday, just the birth
All right,
year.
what is
Okay.
69, 1949.
Yeah, it's true. 69.
Oh, he was 45 when he beat Michael Moorer, and that was in 94. So you could do the math from there. But
That was incredible.
you could still be off by a year.
You know what's interesting about George Foreman is I have stood next to Kenny Norton, who was a big, strong guy,
Yeah.
and George Foreman back in the 70s,
Yeah.
early 70s.
Yeah.
And George Foreman looked so much bigger
Yeah.
than any of those guys.
Bigger bones.
That was a weird knockout with Michael Moore.
Yeah.
It was just strange. It was sort of like not even a. I mean, there was nothing behind it almost. Michael Moore. There's a strange.
Do you
guy.
think he's Hall of Fame worthy? People have been asking me this for a while.
Michael Moore or George Foreman?
Michael Moore. Foreman's already in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, Michael Moore was good.
Beat Holyfield.
I mean, he was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
I'm trying to
one.
think who else did he beat at heavyweight. I guess you got a.
Okay, I'm going to
He was
give
part
you
of
this
that
one.
amazing mix of heavyweights in the 1990s.
This fight was on January 12th, 1980 in Tucson. And the guy retained his WBC super featherweight title. It was a KO in 11.
Super featherweight title.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's 130 pounds. This is 1980.
1980.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Super
one
featherweight.
guy's real famous.
Yeah.
The other guy, you know who he is.
Huh. But it's super featherweight, not featherweight.
Well,
Are you sure it's super?
WBC.
You sure?
Maybe it's
Sure
featherweight.
it's
Maybe.
featherweight or super featherweight?
Okay, so
What's
I'll
the
tell you
difference?
what. The guy who.
Let me ask the nationality of. Was it Mexican? Was the challenger from Mexico?
Well, he lived here, but he was born in Mexico. He
Okay,
lived in Bakersfield.
we have an answer, and I'm sure it's
Okay.
gold because it's from our friend.
Okay. Would it be? Is this Danny Little Red Lopez versus Salvador Sanchez?
No.
No.
You're half right.
No.
So it's in Tucson, Arizona, 1980.
That's where the fight was.
That's where the fight was.
KO in 11. The guy who lost.
Oh, KO in 11.
KO in 11. The guy who lost was born in Mexico but lived in Bakersfield,
Uh huh.
and then
Yeah, so I'm going to say Alexis Arguello beating Ruben Castillo.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
Sweet Science.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
What
okay?
did Sweet Science have?
He said Salvador Sanchez, Wilfredo Gomez.
That was in Vegas, and that was like 82 or something,
Well,
right?
they're both
Oh,
desert.
no. Maybe that was 81.
Okay,
The
so
Sanchez died in 82, right?
let me ask you about Ruben Castillo.
What about him? What
How
a
many,
boxer.
how many world championship fights did he have?
He had at least 3, but he kept fighting these freaking
Yeah.
legends. Okay, so
Right.
so he fought Salvador Sanchez.
Right.
He fought Alexis Arguello, which we just established. He fought Julio Cesar Chavez.
Right.
I think he fought that guy from Puerto Rico, Juan Laporte.
Yeah. You're
So
right.
four
Yeah. Okay,
shots.
You got him.
But I mean,
You
who
got
was he?
those.
Look at the level of
I know.
opposition. What a boxer he was!
He was
Such a
incredible.
good stick and move boxer. I think he was unbeaten going into the Arguello fight. That's his first world title shot. I think he was 43-0.
Yeah.
43-0.
And then he went 11 with Arguello.
He could box his ass off. I thought he was ahead on the scorecards.
And then he was the announcer of the foreign fights.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you know why he left?
No.
He wanted too much money.
Oh yeah.
He went in and gave him an
Ego.
ultimatum.
Yeah, ego. Yeah. I mean, he's a
Well,
fighter,
no,
you know.
and he was a good announcer.
He was
And
good.
he's cute guy. You know,
Yeah.
it's really, I liked him a lot.
He's a character. Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. Hey, that's good. You got those.
What a talent. Talk
That
about
was
these
good.
fighters, man. Like the guys who didn't win the titles were just amazing. And I look at around that same time in the welterweight division, guys like Pete Ranzani and Randy Shields, they didn't win titles.
Shields. He fought. Wow.
Shields fought Benitez. He fought Tommy Hearns. Did he fight Leonard as well?
Yeah.
Fought Leonard?
Yeah. He fought every one of those guys, and he was good.
He was sensational. Oh, he fought Pepino Cuevas.
Oh,
Took him
yeah.
15 rounds. Wow. Oh,
And then he
God.
was in a restaurant in North Hollywood, and some guy came in to rob him, and he took that guy down.
Yeah, oh yeah. Don't
The gun didn't bother him.
No. Shit. He went
And,
13 rounds with prime Tommy Hearns, man. He's not afraid of bullets.
Randy Shields, and you know,
Wow.
right now he could probably beat anyone.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's
Oh my
tough as
gosh.
nails.
Yeah. But no, he was a really good boxer.
He was great.
He's a really good boxer. I'm just saying, these guys were the contenders. They were incredible.
Yeah.
We were talking about Hedgeman Lewis. Lewis never won like a sanctioning organization title. I think at one point he was recognized by the New York State Athletic Commission as a welterweight champ or whatever. But
But
I
of
mean,
course-
when you only have 1 or 2 champs, and it's a caliber of a Jose Napoles, that's tough.
And back then, you know,
Wow.
you think about the ramifications of one champ.
Yeah.
The available title shots are much fewer.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one.
Yeah, I'm not totally against multiple world titles being out there because it's just
Gives guys a chance.
gives guys a chance, and then you know what has to happen is that the champions have to fight each other.
Okay, so we have a wish list here. I think
Wish
it's a
list.
wish list. Correct me if I'm wrong. De facto heavyweight tournament. Oh, Wilder, Ortiz, Joshua,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
think Mike.
Parker.
The Australian Parker.
Parker,
Yeah,
Hey,
Or
New
Zealander.
New Zealand. Yeah,
I'm
there you
into
go.
the
Kiwi.
Ortiz Wilder fight.
You're what?
I'm into that fight.
should be.
That's
It's a good
great.
fight.
That's a great fight.
I like Wilder.
I love Wilder in that fight, but that's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like about Wilder.
Yeah.
There's also a lot to not like about
Yeah.
Wilder. But
Yeah.
I think he's athletic. And
Yeah.
in his last fight, where he
Yeah.
knocked a corpse out
Yeah,
in the first
Stavern.
round.
Stavern, here's my invitation to Stavern going into that fight.
But that said, if you look at the left
And he
rights,
got up like,
Yeah.
well, I'll do it again.
Yeah. Where's my check?
if you look at the left rights that Wilder was throwing,
Yeah.
they didn't look wild and looping. They
No.
looked crisp.
The
and
first
they looked
one,
fast.
the first one too that hurt him was
So
like,
I think
Mark
Wilder
Breland.
Joshua is
Yeah.
just going to be huge.
That's the
if,
biggest event that can happen.
If both of them are in the same situation they are now, they're both
Yes.
undefeated.
You never
both
know.
Not doing anything to diminish their.
I think they're both in with live underdogs. That's what I will say.
But you know, Wilder's matured as a fighter and a person.
Sure.
I like Wilder a lot.
Sure.
He's cute and he's good. I mean, but the Joshua
boxing.
Wilder fight is gonna. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They should make that right away. They have.
They should, but
okay,
that's
so I'm going to give you this.
It's not
one.
how boxing works.
Okay.
Dougie,
so
what
this-
do you think of Mitronov? Sorry, Coach,
No,
I didn't want it to fade
no.
away.
Keep
Go
asking me all these like Eastern European guys. Who?
Mitronov?
Mitronov?
Sorry, I may be butchering the
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry, sweet science.
I'll have to tell me when he's fighting. Tell me who he's fought. You know, and maybe I could figure it out.
Okay,
Like
I'll
I
give
said,
you
there's a
this
new
one.
guy. There's a new guy from an area of the world that used to be the Soviet Union that is kicking ass, or it looks promising. I mean, there's too many of them,
Like
and
that,
which is a good thing.
like that guy that was on Showbox.
Oh, I can't think of his name right
I know,
now.
but I liked him.
Oh, I loved him.
I liked the other guy too, though.
Yeah.
The guy who
Fredrickson?
lost. I mean,
Yeah,
I
the guy with
thought
the
it was
hair.
A little premature. But
He was taking some shots.
he
though,
was
man.
going to get him.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sweet Science says I missed his question. Ask again, please. These things fade off, and
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one.
he fought last Saturday.
Ask JP.
I don't know. Yeah. Too bad JP isn't here.
JP knows all this stuff.
Yeah.
So here's this fight was January 13th, 1976, in Philadelphia.
huh.
One guy, he lost his very first fight. He lost.
Uh-huh.
You know both guys. One's really famous. One's pretty famous.
You know the guy that lost his first fight.
Yeah, the guy who lost his
A lot of
first
guys
fight
who
is
lost
real
their
famous.
first fight. A
It
lot
was
of
in Philadelphia. It was the first fight he ever lost. The guy who beat him was from Philadelphia. One of those old Philadelphia guys.
So this is a fight that took place in Philadelphia,
Yeah,
1976.
right,
One of the participants is a Philly fighter,
right. Who won?
right? Who won?
And the other guy lost. It was a 10-round decision.
Yeah.
And the other guy, real famous, really good. I mean, really good. Left-handed.
Okay. Is this in the middleweight division?
Yeah.
Well, shoot. Would it be? Would this be Marvin Hagler? And Hagler lost.
Yeah.
And is it Willie the Worm Monroe?
Close.
Oh, Bobby Boogaloo
Yeah,
Watts. Bobby Watts.
I
Okay,
thought
that
it
was in
was-
'76.
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right. And it was a decision that Hagler dropped.
Yeah.
And then he
First-
probably avenged it like
first-
two,
first-
once or twice. Yeah.
Probably the next week.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Wow. Gosh, so Hagler was fighting contenders in the mid '70s. He didn't get his shot at a middleweight title, Vito Antuofermo, until '79, and then
Yeah.
didn't win it till
And that was
1980.
a draw, right?
That was a disputed draw.
Yeah, disputed draw.
Yeah.
Okay, so this fight, January 13th, 1984, in Reno. Okay, you know both these guys. You know one of them real well personally. He retained his WBA lightweight title, KO3,
Okay. This is Reno, and what was the year again?
1984.
1984, and the WBA lightweight title was on the line.
Yeah.
So
KO3.
Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Right.
KO3. Oh gosh, is this
Yeah.
Bobby Chacon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
poor Bobby.
Got a question for you.
Poor
He
there,
had
too.
nothing. He had nothing
Yeah,
left,
he was
man.
gone.
Okay,
Yeah.
somebody asked, what's next for Chocolatito?
I think he's coming back. I think he's definitely in training. I think they're going to try to get down to 112. I don't think he can at this stage. Maybe that's the third fight that's going to be added to Superfly is Chocolatito in against, somebody. I don't know, Giovanni Segura or somebody like that. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I think he comes back. That's the future. I think he comes back, but I think that division. And here's the thing. I said this when Chocolatito was undefeated and on top of most pound-for-pound lists, including the rings. When he moved to super flyweight or junior bantamweight, the 115-pound division, I said this over and over again. There are no easy fights for him because it is a ridiculously deep division, and he's got a lot of wear and tear on that fighter's odometer, and he was pushing it at flyweight, and I think he's overextending himself physically at 115 pounds. So I don't care who he fights. If he fights a fringe contender at super bantamweight, at super flyweight, he could lose. Especially after getting knocked out the way he was
He's
against
got to
Sorunga.
fight at 112.
Yeah.
Got to. And I think he should quit.
Yeah.
I really think. I mean, that they even
his legacy is secure. I mean,
but even thinking, he's
it's
had
dangerous.
A few tough fights.
Yeah.
Not just the last two.
Sure.
But every fight's tough.
Yeah.
And I think for his health,
Yeah.
really, he should quit. Right
Chocolatito has not been Chocolatito since he stopped Brian Valoria in the co-feature to that Golovkin-Lemieux fight. Ironically, to me, that was the peak of Golovkin. That was October 2015. The Golovkin's form against Lemieux, he was firing on all cylinders. I think that was the peak of Triple G. And I think in that co-feature, Chocolatito stopping a very well-prepared Brian Valoria in the late rounds, right? Like 9, 10, 11 or so. That was Chocolatito's peak, but he's had a steep decline since then.
Okay. We had a question come in. I just didn't want to interrupt your talk.
Interrupt me anytime.
Your thought about,
I don't know when to stop talking.
Your thought about Adonis and Badu Jack.
I mean, that's a good fight. I like it. I think I slightly favor Badu Jack, but Stevenson has athletic talent and ability that Jack can only dream of. He's just got that speed and that natural power. He's getting a bit long in the tooth, but I think he started boxing kind of late, and he hasn't been in a whole lot of difficult fights. But I like Badu Jack. He's not sensational in any department or category, but he's solid all around, and he's a very game fighter.
So
like
were you being facetious when you said Stevenson hasn't been in a lot of difficult fights, at least lately?
Not lately. No,
That
not
fight
lately.
might not happen either. I mean, with Stevenson.
See, Stevenson doesn't count anymore. He's just like it's so clear that he's just making money for as little risk as possible. Yeah. He fights so infrequently. He's taken himself out as a viable player in the light heavyweight division, and that's too bad because I think he makes for really good fights if he's matched up with fellow world-class light heavyweights.
But he's not into it.
He's not,
and that's fair.
That's fair.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but the BC has allowed him to keep that belt.
Yeah.
And
they're going to take it away now, I think.
I don't know. And people keep stepping aside. What's his name? Eliter Alvarez. He keeps just stepping aside. He's happy. I guess if they're making money, that's fine. But
okay,
it's hard to get excited about Adonis Stevenson.
Somebody weighed in and said Jack, and then somebody else whose name I missed, I'm sorry, said hi. Now, now that Parker Joshua is official, what to expect?
Good fight. A good fight. I think Parker is going to take it right to Joshua. Try to check his chin early. I think Parker takes a good shot. He has deceptively fast hands. So does Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua has tighter technique. He's the much bigger man. He's probably 3 inches taller. He's probably got about 3-4 inches in wingspan. He's going to be heavier, maybe by 20 pounds. I think that will tell over the distance. But Parker can take a shot, and he's very game, and he's fearless. So it's a dangerous fight.
I did not see the fight against Huey Fury.
Yeah.
How did he look?
Sloppy.
Because
Parker looked he was just running in there, throwing.
To me, he did not look terribly impressive.
Yeah. It's hard to look good.
Ruiz either.
It's hard to look good against a Fury. Mm-hmm. The way that as big as the Furies are, they've got good footwork. They got good lateral movement. As big as they are, and as awkward as they look, they move around that ring really well, and they're so rangy. They can just do this all. It's really hard to get to him. And Hughie was even good, like up against the ropes. He's so tall and flexible. He's just leaning back, and Parker looked really sloppy in that fight. I mean, he had the aggression. It wasn't effective aggressiveness, and his technique was. Yeah, so it left something to be desired. It really did.
Yeah, those two fights, at least, and somebody else is agreeing with the Ruiz.
Yeah, he didn't really separate himself from Andy Ruiz Jr., did he?
He did not.
That fight could have gone either way. Yeah, I thought it could have gone either way.
Pretty good.
He is.
He's not bad at all. Anyway, we're going to have to get going. This has been going a long time. Mike, we want to thank you for coming today.
Well,
it was really great. You know your stuff. And Dougie, you got everything.
No,
you didn't miss any.
I didn't get those ages, but that's interesting. Yeah.
No, but that was good.
It's interesting trying to figure out their age.
Anyway, Mike's wife listens to this, And her favorite part is about the safe driving, because Mike used to be a very, very aggressive driver, and we have rehabilitated him. So
she is now Coach's #1 fan.
yeah, so
That's awesome.
So, and also Dean Familton was telling me that he was driving a little crazy and he thought about us and he stopped.
Good.
You know, so
Coach, you're doing good work.
You don't
Submission.
realize you say something and it resonates for somebody.
Yeah.
And it really can
But-
change the way people.
You know what
approach
worked
things.
for Mike? When you said drive like you just won the lottery. that resonated.
Well, it is
He's
true
like,
though, and it's so important. And I know it's boring. We keep talking about it, but it's not boring, because I mean, it's crazy. And every day you read who got killed in a car crash. Every day, I mean, it's all about, you know, the cell phones, being distracted,
Yeah.
you know, being too aggressive,
Being sleep deprived,
and it's just
or just getting bored.
And the whole thing
distracting
is,
yourself.
like yesterday, I was driving, and there's a spot between me and the car up here waiting for the signal to change. Some guy coming out of a driveway, and I wave the guy on, and he can't believe I'm waving him to come
Yeah.
in. But it feels good. It feels good because it doesn't take any of your time, and it's like just being like kind to everybody.
It helps the overall flow of traffic when you let people in.
You know, my favorite sportscaster is Colin Coward, and he's on Fox News, and he's really good. And he was talking about he's sort of aggressive a little bit, you
I
know,
can see him being impatient.
and he was talking about his driving, about how he just lets everyone go first. Everyone. He just says, "What's the difference?" You know, so it's really a good attitude,
Yeah.
and it really is just habit. So, you know, like if you're back east and you're going down the street and some guy wants to come in, I mean, you go faster so he can't
No,
get
you're
in.
not.
And here, what you do, you got to back up. You let everyone get in front of you.
And Coach, that works in freeway off ramps, and it works in
Everything.
parking lots after boxing matches.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, hey, thanks, Mike. Mike lives in Auburn, California. Have a good, safe trip home. Dougie is now the editor of Ring Magazine. He's going to the top with this, and you have to. I said it before, but you have to listen to the 3 knockdown rule with Mario Lopez
Yeah,
and
last week's
Steve Kim.
episode.
It was really good, and you can feel.
I think it's the January 11 officially.
yeah,
That's
it was very good.
Some very exciting plans for Ring Magazine.
Yeah.
Going through the
Hey,
next
thank you for
year.
being
We'll be
here, Mike.
watching there.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely.
You
It's
know
my
your
pleasure.
stuff, Mike. Anyway, we'll see you all next week. Take it easy.
Well, guys,